Greetings, friends in love and light. KJ Sagittarius here, and welcome to KJ's Couches. KJ's Couches. KJ's Couch. KJ's Couch. It's 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 KJ's Couch. KJ's Couch. It's KJ's Couch. It's KJ's Couch. It's KJ's house. Yay! Hey! All right, yes, what's up? Thank you. All right, what's up? How's everybody doing today? I hope well and being safe. To just kick things off, if you're new, please subscribe to my channel at KJ Sagittarius and request to follow me on IG. My page is private, but you can request to follow me. It's XLUBLEEY Jones X Lovely Jones X. And yes, again, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, KJ Sagittarius here. Like, you know, give me some views, comment, all that. Like, I love it. Just more engaging. I love all that. All right, so now let's get it crack-a-lackin'. It's a very interesting topic for today. Now, of course, as you can see, since you clicked this video, this topic and this video is about men, of course, and that is all men just wanna, okay? That's the bottom baseline of the whole thing. That's all what they want to do. And I know sometimes y'all may be thinking because I have a lot of male followers and subscribers and, you know, associates and things like that. So some of y'all might be thinking sometimes, are you just talking to the men? Are you always just targeting the men and such and such? And it's like, I'm not targeting you all. I'm trying to create a dialogue of communication between male species and the female species. And clearly there's just, you know, this miscommunication going on, and I just feel like I can see from both sides. I'm a pretty good person of putting myself in different perceptions, so, and I'm capable of communication, and I think, well, I know I'm pretty good at using the right words when I choose them patiently. I'm pretty tactful, so I think I can relay messages pretty well. Okay, with that being said, all men just want to hit it, ladies. All men just want to hit it. That's the driving force behind their, you know, their communication with you, them greeting you, them coming up to you. That's the driving force. And I'm not trying to attack men, and, you know, don't think of it in the way that I'm saying. It's just that not only do I, you know, think this already to a certain extent and degree. If you were familiar with my previous videos, Sometimes Men Cheat, this kind of goes along the same lines of that. When I was talking about that, is that you know, men can't help it. You know, they have their drive, and their whole existence is about impregnating women and, you know, repopulating the earth, right? So that's pretty much what they want to do and think about, and it kind of takes them over. So just like that, all men wanna hit it, like they want to hit it. So since the men that are watching, they're either some of them are probably like, oh, you giving away all the secrets, or you telling them, you exposing us, or some of them are probably like, no, I'm not, I don't just want to hit, I want something real and everything, etc., etc. Well, look, like, you know, but we know why you approach, right? Like, we know why you approach, and y'all know that, like, that's just the bottom line before you even know somebody. And then you guys give the reason, like, oh, well, how, I don't know what her personality, or I don't know what she's like, so of course, you know, that's what, if I'm going off the jump, and, like, even if it's pictures online, if I'm going off that off the jump, then of course, like, you know, what else am I gonna go off of? You don't have to just automatically think sex. You can just be like, oh, this person, you know, she seems like she likes, you can see pictures, things around her, like if she has a guitar or something like that, oh, she plays guitar, okay, like we're interested in the same thing. Like, why automatically jump to sex? But anyway, we'll get there, okay? Now, so this video is, I would say, more so me speaking to the ladies, but this energy can apply anywhere. You know, hey, wherever it applies, please address it. If it don't apply, let it fly. It is what it is. It's on you, okay? So, but this video is more so pertaining to the ladies, I suppose, and speaking to them. You know, one of my followers said that, you know, you got to talk to the women more. And I talk to the women a lot in these videos, but like I said, I really feel like it's a lot of the men in this day and age that need some assistance, a little motivation, a little inspiration, kind of a little tweaking a little bit, a little assistance with you know, the way that they communicate with us, and vice versa. But, you know, I'm a woman, so it's easier for me to go off my experience to communicate with men, you know. And so first things first, ladies and gentlemen. All men just want to hit it, okay? So, with that being said, number one, okay, if you see me looking down, I'm looking through various things I'm going to let you all know in topics. Number one, they're only good for one thing, okay, ladies? Y'all remember that scene in Booty Call when, what's her name? Damn, what's her name? Y'all know her name, right, in Booty Call. Where she talked about, she was like telling her friend at the hospital, and she was like, yeah, you know what, I can't believe he played us like that, blah blah blah, okay? And she was like, you know, baby, they're only good for one thing, okay? Now, I'm not saying that they don't have anything else to offer, like they don't have any substance or anything like that, like they can't give you, you know, some stability and comfort and things like that. I'm just saying that the bottom line is they're really good for one thing. Now, this more so applies to women that are living a single life, you know, and they just want to maintain their independence and do their thing, and, you know, they don't want to get too attached or anything like that, because women have that right too. Some men don't understand. There's a lot of double standards between how men and women can use their body and how they choose to move through life when it comes to being single and things like that. Because you're loose when you are more promiscuous, I suppose. Like, women are seen more promiscuous when they date multiple men. But that's not necessarily to say that you're sleeping with all of them, okay? But if you choose to, right, sleep with some or whatever you choose to do is your life, okay, just know that this is more so works for the women that are single, and that they're only good for one thing. All right, you want to maintain yourself single, and you don't want to get too emotional into it, because, you know, they're for this. Okay, you got to make sure that purpose is known. And for the people that, you know, that aren't really looking for a relationship, even just for women that are in a relationship, this is what they're good for. This is what they operate on. This is what they want to do. All right, this is what they'll work the hardest on. All right, so that is something that they mastered, okay, that they think about so much. Some of them may not be that good at it, but they'll always be willing to be, or just work on it with you, or they'll just put the most effort in that. Okay, because that's what they think about so much. That's all they want to do. So that's really all they're good for. That's really the most that you can train them on and help them out with, is that purpose, is to, you know, help you out, you know what I'm saying, or to you know, like I said, if you're single, just to use them for that, you know, not to just get too attached, or to you know, get your feelings hurt or things like that, you know, because you're messing with player energy. Just make sure you maintain that awareness that, you know, this is what I'm gonna do this for, okay? So in men, I'm sure you all, you know, you gotta don't be hurt by what I'm saying right now. I'm just quoting Booty Call, okay? I'm just quoting the movie. And she said that you're only good for one thing, you know what I mean? Because that's why they play, that's why in her perception, from her perspective, that's why they play around, that's why they act like dogs, you know, just this from her perspective. I'm not saying I agree with this entirely, but I understand the viewpoint, the point of view. And you know, that's why she was saying, oh, they're dogs and stuff like that, you know, that's why they do that. She was like, you just got to know they do things like that, okay? But they're only good for one thing. If you don't take them serious, if you don't want to take them seriously, all right, they will do things like that. They'll play around. They can't be serious. But that's because they're only really good for one thing, and that's for helping us get babies and make babies. Okay, don't expect too much from them. All right, don't expect too much. Don't put too much pressure on them. Not saying that they aren't capable of things and greatness. Just saying, for you, you know, coming from this woman in the movie, all right, for advice. This is the bottom line. This is what they good for. Just like all they want to do is hit it, like, you know, from jump. Okay, that's in their mind from jump. This is all that they're good for. That's what you got to keep in your mind. All right, keep that in the forefront of your mind. All right, those two things. All they want to do is hit it, and they're only good for this thing. Okay. All right, number two, ladies. Okay, this is also for you, and this could help the guys too a little bit. Okay, ladies, number two. All right. Show him what he wants, okay? Because men don't know. All right, men don't know what they want. They don't really know what they need, and they don't really know what they want. It's like you have to think for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to show them what they want and shit. Like, they have or what they need, like, in their life. You know, you have to be that plus, that supplement. You got to be that thing that like brings betterness to their life, like bring, like, you know, uplifts their life and makes it better and inspires and changes it for the better, right? So you have to show them what they want. You know, they don't know if they want a relationship. They don't know if they want kids. They don't know if they want to get married. They don't know what kind of woman they want. They don't know if they want a natural woman. They don't know if they want a big booty woman. They don't really know. They just kind of fall into stuff because, you know, they see something that look good and they want to hit it. Like, they want to hit it. So you kind of have to guide them into figuring out, you know, I'm what you want. It's me. You don't want anybody else. You want to go right here, because not only do I look good, not only do I keep myself up looking good, you know what I'm saying, and I'm your type, and I can be your type. You know what I mean? I can do things for you. I can, like, uplift you, inspire you. I can provide. I can just do things, you know, providing, like, comfort and you know, assistance in any way, nurturing, you know what I mean, things that a woman does, things provide femininity, you know what I mean, and like, I can cook, I can do cleaning, like, and ladies, ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't think that that's some old 30s type stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, that's old school. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that is a feminine thing to do. I feel like there's nothing wrong with it, with cleaning or being clean. You should clean after yourself. You should be able to clean and cook and things like that. That's just self-care, taking care of yourself, okay? And it's wonderful to build those skills to provide that to another person, and you all provide for each other. You know, you want to give what you can get. Like, you want to be able to offer what you're trying to look for, right? So in the man, like, you know, when you're trying to do it for that man, you want to show him what he needs, show him what he wants. Like, you know, if he's single, he has kind of like player-like energy. He may have player-like energy, and he's not necessarily sure what he wants. He may be, you know, dating around, or he may be single, but, you know, he may be open to a relationship, but he's just not entirely sure. You know, he might just be doing his thing out here or whatever. And you know, you kind of been feeling him for a while or whatever. Y'all might have been talking for a little bit, and you're not really like into that. You kind of want to show him that, you know, it's you over here. This is where you need to be. You need to be coming over here, right? So in order to do that, men, you can't just like really like tell men, talk, right? Because I don't think anybody really likes so much talk. They want to see some action, right? They want to see some action. Okay, so they want to see you giving them, you know, providing and helping and like caring and motivation and things like that. You know, if you want to ask them, if it's kind of early or you just working through it, you want to ask them about their day, or you want to ask them about a situation they've been talking about. Like, you know, when you want to keep checking on that, you be like, tell me what about that. You know, you want to be like, you want to be the ear that they listen to. You know, if they say something like, you know, I'm about to do this, I'm just chilling right now. Let's say we're out of quarantine or whatever. Like, oh, I'm just chilling right now. Or even if you are in quarantine, hey, these are things you want to do. Now, granted, it's got to be somebody that's worth it and doing things for you in return, you know what I mean, and like is showing interest in return. Don't just waste your time in the beginning, but you know when to start pulling out these things where you show them that this is where he needs to be over here. So let's just say, even if you were in quarantine, or even if you weren't, and he says like, oh, you know, I'm about to just order some food off Uber Eats or whatever, or I'm about to just go get some food, you know, leave the house, blah blah, and you'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's say you're in the area, or let's say you're not doing anything or whatever, you'd be like, well, you know, let me order you some food, because I know this restaurant that I think you're really gonna like, and I want you to try it, so let me get you something. Like, you know, just something like that. Just offer them something like that. Like, or even if you're not in quarantine, and you know, y'all, we're out of this quarantine thing, and y'all are together, you just be like, you know, cook for him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cook some food for him. Show him that you have domesticated abilities, not like, show him that you can do things, and you're versatile, and this is where he wants to be. Like, I can cook, I can clean, I look good, maintain femininity, you know what I mean, and I can listen to you, I'm interested in things that you're interested in, even if I'm not familiar with them, I'm curious so much about you that I'm like interested, I ask you about it, like, you know what I mean, like things like that, like putting in effort to show that this is where he wants to be. Like, you want to come over here because I'm all that you need, baby. Okay, I'm all that you need. Okay. So that kind of brings me to my next one, which is number 3, all right, which is don't give it all. okay, but just enough. All right, so when I was talking before about cooking for him and cleaning and things like that, all right, so you got to know when to do these things. Don't be just giving it all away. See, some people say things like you don't want to do all the wifely things while you're in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, because why buy the cow when you can milk the horse for free, when you can get the milk for free. So like, and I understand that to a certain aspect. I feel like there's like a spectrum. I feel like there's a height or a level that you can go to where this is just like you giving too much of yourself. I feel like you have to just see what you're receiving and how the reciprocation is going between both parties, between the two of you. But I would say don't give all of your energy. You know what I mean? Like they have that don't put your eggs in one basket thing. You want to make sure you're giving just enough, all right? And as much as they're giving, you're giving. You don't want to just be coming over there every day offering to cook for them. Let me cook for you. Let me cook for you. Let me cook for you, like every single day coming over there. You know what I mean? And then they get to the point where they're just expecting it from you. All right. Even though, and they're dating you, but they're also dating other girls, and they're still dating other girls, multiple women, or even men. You know what I mean? Like, so for the vice versa, for the men that are dating women, they're just cooking for them, cooking for them. And this woman might be dating multiple men, but she just likes that you cook for her. So that's something you're giving her a perk. You know what I mean? You're adding something to her life, making it easier. And just same with ladies, you're adding something to his life, making it easier. But he wants to have his cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? So like you got to be careful. All right, just giving too much. You have to make sure that you're not giving too much and then you're not getting anything in return, because they might be getting something from somebody else, and that might have maybe more than what you have in their eyes, but they really like that you're cooking for them every day. Okay, so you want to be able to show him what he wants and needs in his life that is going to uplift it and supplement it, and like give it a boost. But you don't want to give away too much where you're depleting yourself and and you're lowering your energy and things like that. Okay, so make sure you are balancing, keep maintaining the balance of what you're doing and what you're receiving. All right, maintain awareness of that. Okay, so don't give too much, but just enough. Do just enough. Listen, don't call him too much. Don't blow him up too much. Call him every once in a while. How you doing? How's your day? Ask about his day. Ask about things. Check out him. You know what I mean? Just show him that you're here. You know what I mean? You're present. Okay. So number 4. All right. Number 4. Stay in control, ladies. Okay, and fellas too. But again, mainly for the ladies. Stay in control. You have to stay in control of this relationship, of this journey, of this thing that's going on between you and your partner. Okay, you have to maintain control. You know how like they say that the man is the muscle and the woman is the mind. Like the woman is supposed to be like the one that wears the pants and everything. Okay, like that's you're in control. You happy wife, happy life. Now I get that there's this new age thought process where men are like, why does my happiness based off of your life? Why is my happiness based off your life? And I agree with that. All right, I believe I've said that in another video before. But you all know what I mean. I feel like there's a level to that. You know what I mean? There's a certain agreement to that. I don't think women should just base the whole relationship off of that. I think that they should just say that if I'm happy with the way things that are going, like, you know what I mean, like between us, and I'm satisfied, and and you're satisfied, like, then it's a happy life. You know what I mean? You got to also make sure that person is satisfied as well. So I get that, but I'm just using that as a kind of like broad term, I suppose. Is that women, you have to maintain the control of their relationship. Okay, you have to make sure you're like aware of what's going on. You don't want to do too much where you're like overwhelming, you're like stalker and crazy, but you got to make sure that, let's say it's early in the relationship and you're not trying to be sexual, you're not trying to get all sexual, you're just dating this person and you're just getting to know this person, and you go on a few dates, and men just want to hit it. Like, men want to hit it, and they'll throw out sexual innuendos. They'll try to say things to you, see when they're gonna get you at a weak point and see if you're gonna get a little freaky with them or whatever. They'll try all that, and you want to maintain control of the relationship and show him that you're not rewarding this behavior, okay? Like if he wants it, he has to work for it, okay? Like you're in control of how fast this is gonna go. You're in control of how slow this is gonna go. You're in control of this. All right, so he's not gonna be rushing me. Like, no, like this is me. Like I'm in control of what's going on here. All right, I'm gonna let you know when I want you to come up over here and be all intimate with me. All right, I'm gonna let you know. All right, you don't just throw in sexual innuendos and try to come at me like that, and you know that we're not even at that level yet. All right, because I've noticed that happens so fast with men. Like, you know, they'll talk to you in the first 3 hours and be like, oh my God, you just make me like, you know, just you're so amazing, you're great, and it's because of the tone of your voice just turns them on. And it's like, man, you know, like that's just like, so ladies, you got to just maintain, you have to be in control of the relationship. You have to be in control of the conversations and how the conversation go, because men, a lot of them, not to generalize this, and just remember this video is not about generalizing. All right, a lot of them lack self-control, okay, because all they want to do is, all right, like that's all they want to do, and like off jump, like that's what they see, that's like the baseline. Remember, we've established that. So you have to maintain control of how these conversations are going to go, how, you know, the relationship is going to go. You have to make sure that if you feel something turning a certain way or is getting sexual or anything like that that you're not ready for, all right, you're going to hit them with the skirt, okay? You're going to be like, okay, skirt. You're going to direct the conversation or the attention elsewhere, you know, not to like to the point where you're avoiding it, but you know, you can address it. You just be like, hey, you know, we don't go there, and then you can kind of direct it elsewhere. You got to make sure you're keeping that man on his toes. Make sure you keep him patient. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't mean to be so crass, don't hate me, but it's like training a dog. You know what I mean? It's like training one. It's like, you know, you got to show them how to address you. Can go the same for fellas, of course, too. Like anybody can really use this. You got to show people how to address and respect you as a person, how you want to be treated, and how you want this relationship to go. But as women, since we're dealing with many men that are highly sexual and they want to get down and everything like that, this is kind of how we got to we got to sift through finding the one, okay, or finding the person that we want to like have long-term relationships with, or possibly have children with, and things like that, okay? So make sure you stay in control of the relationship. It's okay if sometimes they get a little bit out of hand and they step out of bounds a little bit. Make sure you bring it back and see if they're capable of being brought back, all right? You kind of got to get them in the groove and see how you are. So yeah, you got to make them work for it, okay? All right, so yeah, stay in control, ladies. And fellas, this could work for you too. This could go for you too. Stay in control of yourself. All right, stay in control of yourself. I know it's probably hard and everything like that, and it's a little difficult to stay in control of your hormones and your emotions, but just maintain control, because it works out in the long run. It's so much greater when you're patient and you grow with one another and you know what that woman wants. You've been talking to one another, you're familiar with her, what she likes, what she doesn't like, and then you get to that point, she's more vulnerable with you, and it's better than what you thought it was going to be, instead of just being something that you barely really knew her. So she really wasn't fully all the way comfortable, or not say all the way comfortable, but she really wasn't fully vulnerable enough to give herself the way you wanted. She kind of just gave you that, like, you know, oh, I'm just out here, like, type stuff. But not when you know how they say your friend matters more, because you're more open, you're more willing to do more things, you know what I'm saying? You're more willing to be more vulnerable and all that, because you like want to please this person, because you really like them, so you want to make them happy. Y'all know what I mean, okay? So yeah, so fellas, make sure you maintain self-control, and you just, like, you know, hold out if you really want to get with this chick on, you know, beyond just a physical level, all right? And even if you want to start there, eventually, you know, you're going to grow feelings. You got to be aware of that, and you just got to be willing to let that guard down to do that, because like I said, the rewards are greater in that way, all right? So be willing to accept a relationship possibility. Be open to it, you know what I mean? All right, number 5, ladies and gentlemen, number 5. So this is strictly for my ladies, all right? Number 5, ladies, maintain femininity, all right? Maintain your femininity. And when you're in conversation, when you're out, when you're with his friends in public, any of that, maintain femininity. If you might have disagreements, or you may not agree with what he said, or he said might have turned you off or anything like that, maintain your femininity. Make sure you relay what you want to communicate to him in a soft way. Take a soft approach and just say, hey, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not trying to take it there. I'm really not ready for that. So I would appreciate it if you didn't bring up things like that, or if you're really interested in me, you'd be willing to wait. Is that something that you think you're capable of? Because if not, I really think it's best if we don't waste either of our times. But I am interested in you, and I would like to get to know you better over this period of time, or long term. So you kind of just make sure like you saying what you want, but you're not being argumentative. You know what I mean? Argumentative. You're not being your voice isn't changing, your tone isn't changing. You don't seem negative. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that whatever you disagree with or agree with, you want to maintain your femininity, okay? You want to maintain high vibes, and you want to keep it ladylike and sexy, because again, like I said in number 2, you're going to show this man what he wants, what he needs in his life. So if you have disagreements, you're going to show him that you have femininity. You're the feminine side. All right, so y'all might have disagreements, and he's the masculine energy. He's giving off masculine energy, and you're always going to maintain your feminine energy. All right, so maintain your femininity. Also maintain it in a physical aspect. Okay, so if you wear makeup, do your makeup thing, look good, look pretty for him. If you don't wear makeup, that's okay. Just make sure you're being nice and soft. You got putting some lotion on, Vaseline, you know what I mean? Taking care of yourself, your skin, it's not all dry. Take care of your hair. So yeah, maintain your femininity by, putting on them dresses, you know what I mean? Putting on some lingerie or whatever if you get to that point. Just looking cute, put some heels on, put some perfume on, things like that. Now, I'm not to say that men don't like androgynous or tomboyish women. If your man likes that, then put that on, okay? Like, if your man likes that, put that on. But remember, maintain femininity. And ladies, men do like women that are softer, okay? That are display what they represent, which is a woman, which is the feminine energy, okay? So make sure you're vibrating that feminine energy, and you're maintaining that on a physical level, emotional level, spiritual level. You're vibrating femininity. So maintain your soft feminine ways, all right? So that's number 5, okay? Number 6, all right? Number 6, we're getting closer to the end. Number 6 is test his patience, okay? With questions and intimacy. Now, I already know what some of you may be thinking. Y'all don't like that word test, okay? Like, test. Why y'all gotta test us, and what we gotta be tested for? This can go for the men too, all right? You can test her patience, all right? Whatever you want to do. Remember, I know it's thought culture out here, and I'm gonna touch base on that in just a second. But ladies and gentlemen, but mainly ladies, because I'm a lady, you want to test his patience. I know they'd be like, oh, why y'all gotta test us? You don't like that word test? We're all being tested. We're all being tested every day. We're being tested by the highest power, the most highest of highs. We're being tested by our friends, our family. We're being tested, especially when you're dating someone, you're getting to know them. This is the test. It's like, if I'm going on a date with you and I'm asking you a bunch of questions, I'm trying to see if you going pass everything I'm asking by agreeing with everything that I, like or enjoy, or I'm capable of compromising with. So I'm like, okay, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay, so I can see if I want to date you long term. You know what I mean? So we're all being tested on a subconscious level. You know what I mean? It's just that we're bringing awareness to it now. Right now, we're bringing awareness to it instead of just testing and not knowing what we're doing. Now we're asking these questions. All right, and we're gonna test and see, is this the person that I want to be with? Did they pass all my questions? And is this who I'm compatible with? And there's knowing what you want, that's a good thing, okay? Don't think that that's bad. Knowing what you want, you should know what you want, because if you didn't, you know what I mean, if you keep not knowing what you want, you will continuously be single, right? Either that, or you would just know that you should be alone because you can't find it, I guess. But yes, ladies, test it by asking questions, what he likes, what he's into, is it compatible with what you want? Can he answer all these questions, or is he you know, does it trigger him to be open and vulnerable by asking these questions? Because it's okay to ask questions to get to know someone, and I suppose that's a test on its own. Like, you're being aware that how much patience does this person have. And I'm not saying ask them back to back to back to back like you're overwhelming them, but you know what I mean. You're spacing it out. You're having a conversation, and if there's certain things that he doesn't want to answer, or he seems like he's hiding from you, you know, that's something you want to kind of be aware and draw your attention to. You know what I mean? But you don't want to just feed into it too much. You just want to make sure you remember that in the back of your head, while remembering in the back of your head, okay, that he may just want to hit it. Okay, he may just want to hit it. So you need to make sure you're testing, okay, and seeing if he is just going to just strictly be the person that, you know, he just wants to hit it, all right? And if you want to just keep him there, and you might hit it and you just want to keep him in that box, all right? Or if he's capable of something more, okay, and that is what you want, you know, because you have to make sure that's in the back of your head, that all men just want to, you know what I'm saying? All men just want to hit. So since you know that doesn't mean just like vibrate off of that and that's it, and that's just like always in your head, and like now you just pushing men away, you don't know how to open up. But just know that that's how they come at you, okay? And are you capable of, is this man capable of more? You know what I mean? Is he capable of more than that, than just wanting to hit, all right? So you're kind of just testing that, testing the waters, testing that about him, trying to figure that out about him, because you know this one thing about him for sure, because he's a man. Okay, but is he capable of more? So that's what the test is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is he capable of more? And it can go the same with women, you know what I mean? But I think ultimately, you know, women, a lot of them do just want to have sex with you because they're in a certain mind frame. But women want more, you know what I mean? We always want more. It's just that we settle for what we settle with, and sometimes we're just in a period of our lives where we're focused on something in particular, something certain, and we're trying to reach a goal. So then we have needs that we just fulfill, and we just do that. But we still do strive for more, which is a relationship and things like that. It's just that sometimes we have to focus our energy on something else. But I think with men, their case is that they could just die with just you know, only having sex with women for the rest of their life and never having a relationship. They'll be more okay with that than women are. Women can do it. I'm just saying that it seems that they'll be more okay with it. Like, it's more than that are okay with it. Okay, so yeah, so you want to test his patience and like his intimacy, okay? So like that kind of falls in under patience, but patience with intimacy. So I know that, you know, nobody likes to be teased, all right? I get it. Nobody likes to be teased. But you know, we all have needs, you know what I mean? We all have needs, and you may want to fulfill some of yours as well, okay? But you may not want to cross a line. You may not want to do too much, but you may want to do some touching, some kissing. You may want to fool around a little bit, right? So the test, I suppose, is that, see, it's not really a test. You're not really trying to test them intentionally. You're just knowing that this can be considered as a test, okay? Like what you all are doing, this is going to show you something, and you can take it as a test in that perspective if you like to, all right? But you're not intentionally doing this purposely, you know, that you're trying to test them, okay? You know what I mean? So like I just want to make sure that that's like understood. So if you've already let them know, like, hey, you know, I don't really want to rush too much. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to get physical too fast. But, you know, you guys are moving slowly and things like that. But you kind of do some things. You do some kissing. You do some touching. You may do some, you know, some rubbing or whatever. But, you know, you're not doing anything. You're not having sexual intercourse, okay? Aww. So since that's the case, these are periods where you'll be able to see and test that if he's capable of waiting, all right? So if he has tolerance, if he has self-discipline, if he has self-control, okay? So you have to pay attention because you've already let him know this. But you know he's a man, he has needs, so you're willing to give in a little bit. You're willing to give in some to his needs a little bit. You got some needs too, so you're willing to scratch your itch a little bit. But you got to make sure that you both know, because you let them know in the beginning, that this line right here will not be crossed. So since if he is capable of that in the heat of the moment, you know, he's remembers that, the line, and he's like, okay, you know what I mean, I gotta stop because you're gonna give me a certain way, and you know that we're trying to wait a certain amount of time, blah blah blah. That is a chink chink, a check on the list. And I mean, if he pursues that and he stays that way, he doesn't just say it just to say it, and then, you know, you're like, oh, you're so sweet, and then he's like, yeah, and then he's like, and you're like, yeah, I'm willing to wait, you're like, oh, I changed my mind. Like, no, like, don't change your mind. Like, be willing to wait. Just be like, I really appreciate you saying that. You know what I mean? Like, and you'll see more of that. So you kind of have to like test that about them. Like, are they capable of waiting? Are they capable of doing that? That's kind of goes with you show him what you want, what he needs or what he wants. This is kind of like showing him what you want. Okay, this is kind of like showing him your level of respect for yourself and maintaining what your wishes and what you requested from him and what you're trying to achieve. And this is kind of like him showing him that he's showing you that he's capable of that. All right, showing you as a man, from my fellas, you waiting and acknowledging that she wants that, or just being patient or respecting her wishes, or just saying, hey, I don't want to rush because I really do want to get to know you, shows what you're capable of. Shows your self-discipline and your self-control, shows that you're willing to wait for her, you're willing to really get to know her. That shows something about you. Now that doesn't mean just use it. Guys that are just trying to get into girls' pants with player energy and things like that, that don't mean just use all what I'm saying against her and try to use it against you. No, because women can tell we got that energy, and some just put themselves into situations and they just give in to you and try to seem modest, like they didn't know, because they don't want to come off like a hoe. Okay, like a hoe or whatever, like how you all think women are, loose, whatever. Okay, so ladies, you want to make sure you're kind of like testing that, you're trying to figure that out, you're trying to gauge that patience when it comes to communication, when it comes to physical touch and intimacy, when it comes to all that, you know what I mean, when it comes to even anger. Just, you want to make sure you're kind of trying to figure that out about him for a long term, if you want to continue that or do something with, or plan on doing something long term with this person. Okay, so this brings me to my last point. This is more so for the fellas, all right? So this is more so for them, okay? But fellas, number 7, the way she dresses, okay, doesn't necessarily mean, or doesn't mean, I could consider that it doesn't, I could put money on it, doesn't mean she wants to sleep with you, all right? And it doesn't mean she wants your attention, all right? So be responsible for your own actions, be responsible for yourself and your part of it, all right? So I believe that the responsibility falls on both sides, but I think more so for the fellas, just because she dresses a certain way, looks a certain way, doesn't mean that she wants to have sex with you. Okay, that's not what it means. Now, I know that we're gonna hit like a sensitive point, but I think that's why they have this thing called rape culture, and people don't think that there's such thing as a rape culture. But some of y'all men be out here sounding like Jack the Ripper the way you speak. Okay, some of y'all be out here sounding like Jack the Ripper. For example, all right, I was, I be on the chat line, live, and I get on my Facebook live, I get on certain sites live, and I, speak to my followers and associates and things like that. We were kind of having a conversation similar to this about women dressing, how the way they dress and things like that. One of the men on the chat, he said, "Oh, no, that's BS, because if women don't want sex, or if they don't want it, why are they dressing all sexual out here? Why they got their titties exposed and things like that if they don't want it?" And some of the men in there were like, "Are you serious, bro? You better get chewed out, bro. You sound like a rapist, bro. You sound like a..." And I'm like, oh my gosh. I almost was just like came at him, but then I was like, you know what? No, really, it's okay, fellas. It's okay, people. You know what I mean? It's okay, ladies. Like, look, he genuinely wants to know. Like, he really doesn't understand why and what it is. And let me just explain something to you all, fellas, for most women, or some women. Now, some men think that, which I understand, that there is this thought culture going on, right? It's just so many women out here that are just like, just having multiple kids and stuff like that. Not saying that's a bad thing, because it's not, you know what I mean? Because I want to have multiple kids. But they think it's bad, you having multiple kids by multiple babies' fathers. You're dressing with your booty cheeks out, and your ass out, and your boobies out, and you got this certain look and things like that. Like, and they just expect that because you're like that, you're ready. You know what I mean? You're warmed up. You're hot pocket. You're 2 minutes, bing, you ready. You know what I'm saying? So since they think that, or they believe that, that's how they feel they should approach you. They're, I was discussing something with a another follower, and he was saying that all men do want to sleep with you, and if you're dressing like this, we're gonna hit you up like, oh, what's good, like, you ready, what I'm saying, how you doing? But if you dress like you're more appropriate and you're in this certain attire where you're modest and things like that, but you're still sexy, you have sex appeal, they're gonna come up to you like, hey, how you doing, blah blah blah. And I said, well, that's fake, like, that's fake. And he said that you are addressed how you're dressed. And I agree with that. I believe appearance is everything. I said this in a previous video. My mom told me practice appearance is everything, and take pride in your appearance. Okay, so I believe that. But I think, see, in a man's aspect, y'all still got to remember that y'all just want to hit, like, y'all just want to sleep with her. Okay, so that's the vibration that you're like on, right? So just because she's dressed like that doesn't mean that she wants to sleep with you back. All right, and I think it's really hard for a lot of men to comprehend that women aren't dressing for you. Okay, they're not dressing for you. A lot of them are dressing for themselves. Now, unless there's certain circumstances like she's an IG model, or she's a cam girl, okay, or she's trying to make money in some sort of way. But that doesn't mean that she wants you to come at her like, hey, what's good, because she's ready to have sex with you. That doesn't mean she's just ready to have sex with anybody that comes at her. All right, that just means, one, like I said earlier, she's putting herself in a certain predicament where she's under certain circumstances, so she has to perceive this persona. Okay, she has to have this certain persona about herself. But regardless of that, women, I know it may sound crazy, it may sound like stupid to some men, or it may sound like it doesn't make sense, but even if she was bent over, with her legs spread, or she was butt naked laid out on a buffet getting ate off of sushi like a plate, she still expects respect from you. Women still expect you to respect them. They don't care how they looking, they don't care if they got their ass cheeks out, they don't care if they're walking around in a thong. They still expect respect. Okay, that's not you don't come at them disrespectfully just because they're dressed a certain way. It doesn't mean, just because they're dressed a certain way doesn't mean that they are this for sure. You can still approach women the same way, and that's because you respect all women. All right, period. Like, you just respect all women, so you're going to speak to all women with respect. All right, so, and I promise you that even if she's a thought, or even if she's not, you'll have a better chance of conversation, or what your communication, than what you would be getting if she wasn't. Okay, or if she if you did come at her with the say, hey, you down, blah blah blah, you would have a better chance. Okay, but you have to just know and just understand, just like that, like I was telling this brother that was in the chat. Why are they dressing like that? Why are they dressing like that if they don't want it? Because they're not dressing for you. They're either dressing because they have a job to do, okay, or they're dressing because, I know this may seem so hard to believe, they really like how they look. You know what I mean? They're dressed for themselves. They like how they look. They like to play dress up. For me, I like to play dress up. I like to take pictures of myself. I like to look cute. Sometimes I just like to just play dress up, take pictures of myself, and I don't post them. Sometimes I even look at my own damn pictures. I'd be on Facebook looking at my pictures. I'd be like, damn, I look good that day, or damn, I look like this. They may sound narcissistic or whatever, but I feel like that's a good thing. You love yourself, and I know that I'm more than just a shell. You know what I mean? I know I'm more than this body. I'm a spirit. I'm more than that. So when I see myself from the 3D dimensional plane, and I know I'm a spirit inside, I'm like, damn, I was lucky. I lucked up being in this shell right here. Okay, like, look at me, like, this is good. Like, I love myself. I like how I look, and I think that there's a good balance to that. Where you don't come off arrogant, but you love yourself. You take pride in your appearance, and you accept yourself at every stage that you're at, and you just love who you are. So a lot of women, they post pictures, and some of them don't even expect any likes. They just like that they look good. They just love that they feel good about themselves, and that's how they wanna. That's how they feel good. And you gotta also remember that, and I wouldn't say, like, let me just say, I wouldn't say that it doesn't mean that they aren't seeking attention, because to some degree and some level, and maybe on a subconscious level, they are, in a way, because you're putting yourself out there, so clearly you are expecting to know that you're going to be receiving some type of attention, and a part of you may be looking forward to that. But there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that doesn't mean that they're eager or thirsty. You know what I'm saying? You the one that's thirsty. You the one that's tripping. Okay, so, and you got to also remember that women, we were playing with Barbie dolls. We were playing with makeup. We were looking at our moms put their makeup on and getting taught makeup. Like, we like to look good. You know, this is not always for y'all. This isn't to attract y'all and please y'all. This is because this is like therapy for us, okay? It makes us feel good to look good, feel good, all right? That has to be something that you all understand. There's a lot of men that don't take pride in their appearance. You know, a lot of men are rugged, okay? So they don't really understand that feminine aspect of looking good. Some men think that other men that are metrosexual or look at are way too feminine. They even think that they're gay. Some men that they think that is too much being feminist, but that's why some of you may not be able to grasp the concept that women are not doing it to really attract you. You know what I mean? They're really doing it for themselves. And if they're trying to attract, they either have something, a goal that they're trying to achieve, like an end goal for money or something like that, or you know, they have a purpose of why they're doing it, and that is to pull in certain people, you know, like IG models and things like that. But a lot of them that you're coming at like that, they're just doing it because they like how they look. They could be wearing, you know, a freaking nun outfit, and some of y'all men will just come at them like that, which is just ridiculous. I feel like I get kind of both sides of how men approach. But with that being said, women are not doing it for you fellas. They're doing it for themselves. Just remember that that is the main thing. They're thinking of themselves before they're thinking of you, okay? They're really not thinking of you first. They're not thinking of, she got her titties out because she want me to suck them. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to be so vulgar, but like, that's not what she's doing it for. She's not doing it because she wants a man to do that. She's doing that because really she like her own titties. Like, she likes her own, like, you know what I'm saying? She like, yeah, like, I look good. And there's a bonus to it where some women like feed off the energy and the sexual attention because they're highly sexual beings, you know what I mean? So they just like how they look. They like being sexual, and that is a bonus to them. But that doesn't mean that they want to hear that. That doesn't mean that they want you to address them like that. They don't want that. All right, even if they like the attention and the energy and they like you looking at them and liking their pictures, that doesn't mean that they want you to talk to them like that, because women always still want respect. Bottom line, they still always want you to address them with respect, okay? So they don't want you speaking vulgar and stuff. I know that sounds crazy, even though she got her titties out. She still don't want you saying like, oh, your titties out, blah, blah, blah. Because you have to remember, y'all, when we were back in, like, you know, Egyptian or like days and like, you know, Africa and things like that, when we had no clothes before we were colonized, okay? Does that mean that the women that walk around, or the ones that are even still doing that now in some of the area parts of the world now, does it mean that all the women walk around with their chests and their breasts hanging out and their asses hanging out? Does that mean that all of them are ready to sleep with you? Does that mean that all of them are ready to have sex? That means that they're just ready, right? Because you sound like Jack the Ripper. You sound like kind of like Bill Cosby right now. You know what I mean? When y'all talk like that, you got to think of it like that. All right, you can't stop sexualizing everything. All right, like, these are natural parts of the body. Right? You know, we used to just be free and not have any clothes before we were colonized. This isn't like having clothes. It wasn't like a regular thing. You know, so you can't just be thinking that just because she's doing that, she wants to have sex, or she's ready to have sex, or she just wants to be with anybody, or she's just willing to be with anyone. That's not what that means, okay? That's not what that means. The way she dresses doesn't mean doesn't mean that. So when that brother told me the way you dress is how you're dressed, that is true, because I feel like a lot of people judge, because people take their judgment in and they have their own perception and opinion. So the way you are dressed is how you will be addressed in many different situations, because so many different people have perceptions and opinions, okay? But me being myself and, you know, being more worldly, all right, I'm not gonna just really address you the way you're dressed. I'm gonna try my best not to, because that's assuming. All right, so I'm gonna try. You could be the smartest person in the world and have your pants hanging off your ass, and I may not like that, but I'm not gonna assume you're not intelligent or intellectual, okay? Not until I keep talking to you and I get to know you a little bit more, and I'll make that determination, that judgment for myself. So I will try not to follow that ideology. You know what I mean? So I would just suggest that my brothers and sisters, even my You know, just everybody, just try not to follow that as well, okay? And because there are a lot of women out here that dress a certain way that I know or whatever, and they got their ass all like, I don't agree with it, but that's on them. That don't mean that I think that they're loose and a hoe. Okay, I don't think that. I shouldn't think that, because somebody put that belief system in my head, because that's a natural thing. She's just being natural. And it just so happens that we have technology now. You're so exposed, you're willing to let everybody see private, intimate parts of yourself. But at some period in time previously, we were all looking at each other open and vulnerable like that, and that is a natural thing. I mean, we all have that. It's just different. And maybe some of us all should be naked around each other, because then we'll respect one another and be for what we are. Like, you know what I mean? We'll all just be so vulnerable. We really won't be talking about anything. We can't say anything about each other, because we'll just be so damn vulnerable, because people can say anything about you. So maybe we should just get naked. Yes! Okay, so yes, it's not just the way she dresses does not mean that. So I was having another conversation with a friend of mine, and he was saying that, you know, there are so many women that are thought culture, and so you know, me myself may be you know, am unique and different, because I do not think that way. I do not want to be approached that way. So it's different. But when there's so many women that are like this is how men treat, you know, the women. Okay, so but my thing is that's why I'm having these type of talks and conversations, that you all shouldn't think like that, and that you still I can't really agree with that entirely, because I feel like the responsibility falls on both parties. Like, so for women, I feel like women should know all men just want to have sex with you. Like, they should just know that if you're going to be putting your titties out there and your breast out there and doing all this, exposing yourself, men are going to react this way, because their vibration, their base vibration is, I want to have sex. Like, you know what I mean? I want to get with that woman, I want to sleep with her, blah blah blah. And if they're looking for something serious, okay, they could be thinking like, damn, she looks good, I'll you know, get some off in that, I'll have some kids with that, I'll rub that girl's back every night, and I'll, you know, run her some bath water. They'll do something like that for you. It'll be more, you know, intimate, but it'll still start off with, I'll have some kids with that, I'll have sex with that, and she can have my babies. Okay, it's still, the underlying is still sexual. Okay, so the responsibility does fall on both parties, because with women, you putting yourself out there, men are going to react like that. A lot of them are dogs. A lot of them see so many women that they believe are in thought culture. Okay, like, you know, thoughts and women that are loose, that they believe are like that, because they have this perception that they all think, there's a lot of them think like this, like, oh, she must be ready, she must want it, because this is how she dressed. So you got to expect and know that you doing that to yourself, okay, and exposing yourself like that, there are going to be men that come at you like that, because they're immature, they don't know what to say, and, you know, they're just thinking with this head. Okay, so they're going to do that. So that's your responsibility. You're putting yourself out there like that. You're either going to have to just ignore them or weed it out, because you know you got to expect that from them. All right, so that's your responsibility in doing so, in doing something like that. Now, it's the male's responsibility to know that you have to maintain your own self-control and your own self-discipline. Just know that that woman, okay, has a right to her own body. She's entitled to do whatever she wants. It's her social media, it's her life, it's her pages, whatever she wants. Okay, you have to know that it's your responsibility to not engage in disrespect, to not just come at her disrespectfully, and just know that she's a woman. So it's your responsibility to be like, okay, I can't judge this woman for what she is and who she is, because I don't know her. I can't just come at her like this because I don't know her. So I have to understand that how you dress, you know, just because women dress a certain way doesn't mean that you know, she wants to have sex with me. I have to know that just because a woman wears shorts a certain way doesn't mean she wants to have sex with me. You guys got to remember that there's a spectrum to this, okay? Because everybody's perception is different. Back in the 17th, 16th century, showing your ankles and shit was just like, you were a heathen, okay? You were like a harlot out there, like you was exposing your legs and stuff like that. So like so who's to say, everybody's shit is different. Who's to say that a little neck is not too much to somebody, or a little this is not too much to somebody? Everybody has their own level of what might be too much skin. Some people may think that this is too much of what I'm wearing right now, you know what I mean? So that doesn't mean you come at me in that way, okay? You still have to come at people with respect, male or female, despite what they're dressing or looking like. You can't judge them. Don't judge a book by its cover. All right, you still got to figure them out in what you're working with. Now, if you just don't want to do that, then you just straight disrespectful. That's on you, and you're gonna get what you're putting out. That person's gonna disrespect you back, and then they're gonna be like, oh, who are you to talk to me like that, and blah blah blah. You be like, well, you the one with your boobies out on the internet, so what do you expect? And in a way, you're right. She'd be like, yeah, I do expect that, but that don't mean that you have to be disrespectful to me. Like, why do you have to be disrespectful? You know what I'm saying? And I can do whatever I want. All right, I can do whatever I want, and to me, this is fine. I don't have that much exposed. She might have a little bit of cleavage, but might not be a lot. And you may think that's a lot, but I don't mean that's it, to the next person. It might not be. So somebody might come at you and be like, "What? That's not even nothing." So like, the point is, keep it to yourself. Okay, keep it to yourself. Be respectful. All right, if you think it's too much, just pass by. All right, just be like, just keep it going. All right, but the responsibility falls on both of y'all. Ladies, you gotta expect that men might react that way, and fellas, you gotta respect the lady for who she is and her own journey, and what she's on and what she's doing with herself, and just know that your level of self-respect may be different from this person's or that person. But you got to remember that everybody has their own perception, everybody has their own opinions, everybody has their own thought process, and you shouldn't project it on somebody else. Okay, you shouldn't project it on somebody else, because you never know what you're really doing. That's why some of y'all don't even know that you're taking advantage of women, or you don't even know that you're being perverted or you're sexually assaulting women, because you don't understand. You're like, how is that sexual assault when you got your titties out? That doesn't mean that you have to commit a sexual assault. I'm not sexually assaulting you. I'm not rubbing them in your face or nothing like that. I'm not doing anything that's letting you know I want you to like touch them. I'm just walking around here minding my business, okay? And if I want to dress like this, I want to dress like this, okay? So that doesn't mean, but you are coming into my space, my bubble, and that's what makes it a sexual assault, I guess. But if you were doing a sexual assault, or if you were saying something disrespectful that was sexual or uncomfortable or anything like that, that's you taking it upon yourself to do that, okay? You're doing that yourself. That doesn't mean I asked you for it. I didn't ask you for it. I'm not asking you for anything. Okay, I'm in my own world. I'm minding my own business. You're in your own world, minding your own business. You decided to come up in my world and try to tell me what I want, okay, and try to tell me what I'm expecting, like I asked for that. I didn't do that. Unless you hear me say that out my mouth, then that's a different story. But if I didn't say that out my mouth, then that's not what I want. All right, so whatever I look like to you doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything, because you don't know for sure. So just, you can't assume, y'all. You can't assume. So it's unfortunate, you know what I mean, that some men don't understand that. But like I said, they don't know, they don't, and that's why some of them are catching cases, and they're like, what? That is not even sexual assault. That's not. Yeah, it actually is. Because if it's anything that nobody wanted to ask for, if there's anything I didn't blatantly say yes to, like, you gotta get that consent these days, okay? Then you're misinformed, you're misunderstanding, okay? So just because she dresses that way, fellas, doesn't mean that she's hot and ready. All right, this isn't Little Caesars or whatever. She's not hot and ready, okay? So she's just probably most likely doing it for herself. All right, she has an end goal she's trying to achieve. She's doing it for work. She's trying to reel in followers. There's a purpose, okay? And there is a level of attention that comes with that, of wanting attention that comes with that. But there's a bigger purpose. But in a nutshell, in the end, all women still want respect. They still want you to approach them with respect. They still, because you don't know, if they don't think that what they're doing is as loose as you think. That's your level of modesty. That's your tolerance. They might not think that. They may be more free, okay? And they might be more open. That doesn't mean that they're loose, because you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know anything about them. You can't relate the way she dresses to her sexual nature, because you don't know her personal life. You're not in it. Now, there's high possibilities of that, and there are women like that, you know what I'm saying? But you don't know that until you know that for sure, okay? So just make sure we're keeping that in our mind, all right? So just because all of you men want to have sex and all of you men want to hit it, don't mean all of us want to hit it, okay? That don't mean all of us want to hit it. Most of us don't think about it as much as you do. And y'all be thinking that, y'all be like, y'all think about sex just, but no, we don't. We can't. We can't think about sex as much as y'all because we have so much shit we got to think about. Like, we got so much stuff in our mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be thinking about that as much as y'all. We think about it, trust me. And when we think about it, when we really want to think about it, we really need to think about it. But most of the time, there's a lot of other stuff that be coming in our mind than sex, okay? Even when we be in a sex life, okay? You know, it could be women that are in the sexual life, strippers, cam girls, all that. They barely thinking about sex. They probably going to work like, oh God, I gotta like freaking act like I'm horny. Like, you know, and they probably just can't even get it anymore because they just gotta act like it all the time, you know what I'm saying? Because they got other stuff they gotta worry about, which is probably trying to pay the bills, which is the reason why they're doing that in the first place. So I mean, it's just there's a driving force behind women, all right, and it's so many multiple and various things. And we know when we meet you initially, it's really not like sex. It's like it's foreign. It's a different nature. It's like, okay, he's attractive. We're not really thinking like, oh, I'm gonna just have sex with him. It's more so like, oh, okay, he looks good. You know, he's nice looking. Okay, like, oh, he just gave somebody, a homeless person, money. Oh wow, like he's giving. Like, it's just shit like we add onto it. Like, a lot of men just be thinking like, oh yeah, damn, like I'm gonna give that to her. Like, oh yeah, I want to come at that first, like sexual. You know what I'm saying? So ladies, just remember that. You know what I mean? And it's nothing wrong being sexy with your sexy clothes. You know what I'm saying? And you know, showing yourself, showing your curves and things like that. Is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And but just know that there are a lot of low vibrative men out here, and a lot of men do just want to hit it, okay, off bucks initially when they see you, okay. That's their goal first. So it's like, oh, do I want to work for this or do I not want to work for this? So when you find the one that do want to work for it, that's good. Keep working with that, maintain control. But if you know that there's a lot of ones that don't want to work for it, okay, they just want to kind of get to it fast. So if you're to them, if you're showing that you are fast, okay, they want the easiest route, they're gonna try to take that. All right, so you got to be, you do have to be careful with the way you dress out here, because men, they don't know what kind of impression you're trying to give off. It's unfortunate that we can't wear whatever we want to wear without men thinking that they're right, like, you know what I'm saying, that we want this. But that's just the way that it is. It's just unfortunate the type of environment we're in, that we can't just wear what we want to wear without men understanding that. You know what I mean? So since you know that, and you know there are a lot of ones out here that do just want to do that, and that is what they're for, you will be more susceptible to attracting those type of men, okay? So your best bet is that if you don't want to attract those type of men, if you're for now, you know what I'm saying, to not wear that type of clothing or anything that's too revealing, because it triggers those type of men, because they can't control themselves, because they're just so highly sexual, you know what I'm saying? So excuse me, that's just something that you have to be aware of and you should consider. But don't get me wrong, there are men out there that, like I said, you could be wearing a garb and a trash bag or whatever with yourself fully covered, and they'll still approach you like that. So again, you know, you just ignore those type of men, but just make sure you know that in wearing certain attire, that you'll be more vulnerable to that environment, and you'll be seeing that more, you know, and it'll be more vulgar. You'll get a lot of it, you know. At least in this case, when you're dressing modest, you can filter it out, you can ignore them, you can push them away. But if you're dressing a certain way where you're more open and exposed, it's going to be so much, it might become overwhelming, okay? And if that's not the type of energy you're looking for, if that is the type of energy you're looking for, like I said, and you just want to do your thing, and you single, okay, and you're independent, and you can do whatever you want, ladies, men do it too. I think there's too many stereotypes on people have their own journey and they do whatever they want, you know what I mean? But I understand there are stereotypes, okay? So if you want to do that, then hey, dress how you want to dress. You pull that type of energy in. Show a little cleavage. Just be like, I'm going to show a little cleavage because I am trying to get me a man that I just want to fool around with or whatever. So, you know, you're going to pull them in, and then you kind of gauge it like that. Like, you knew what it was when you met me, okay? You know, I wasn't trying to take you seriously. I'm trying to get this career going right here, but I have needs, and that's it. So you make sure you let them know that. But still, fellas, on your end, make sure that you still respecting that lady, because you know you can get what you want, you know what I'm saying, from her. All right, if you know, be respectfully, like a mutually beneficial, instead of it being all about drama. No, like, just avoid the drama and shit like that, okay? So yeah, that's what men want to do. That's their driving force. And it's okay, okay? So somebody one of my friends was talking to somebody else, and they said that their family raised them on that belief that all men just want to have sex with you and all men just want to sleep with you. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with just thinking like that altogether, like that, like altogether. I think it's just something that we should remember and consider and keep in our mind, but I don't think that we should just let it fester there. I don't want to just keep thinking, because you know, some people say, oh, it's that's messed up to think that all men want to do that, and a lot of men will try to defend themselves and be like, I don't just want that, I don't just want that, like, you know. And I get that, you know what I'm saying, I get that. So I have to take that side into consideration, because I can't just think that all men are like that, you know, because then I feel like I would end up bitter or pushing people away. So, but I do think it's something that we should consider. I do think it's something that you should kind of just keep in your mind, but just know that there are many good men out there that want more beyond that. That just may be what it is at first. Like, just know that that is like what keeps them going, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you can work with them, okay? You can work with them. You can work with some men to make them, or not make them, but to pull them into the energy of there's more than just sex, okay? You can kind of teach them, I guess, guide them into understanding that. So I do agree with it, but to a certain extent, I suppose, okay? All right, so in conclusion, wrapping up the video, all men just wanna, okay, so you know, ladies, make sure you maintain awareness, femininity, control. Just know that sometimes men may try to tell you things that you want to hear. They might try to fake the funk, put on a facade, pretend like they listening, but they really not, like all that stuff, you know. But if they want to do all that, then you make them work for it. You make them like drag that facade out, drag that fakeness out, show them, like, you know what I'm saying, show me, like, you know, you're gonna be tired by the end of this, okay? So just make sure you know that. And some of them, you know, they'll keep going, because then you'll see that it's genuine, it's real, and that's some effort, okay, that they put into. Men, it's okay, it's okay. We know you want to just do it, and a lot of us know that we're working with you. I'm not saying that there's not a lot of women out there that don't want to get down too. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, you know, this is about the men right now, working with the ladies, and you know, of course, for the men, you know, how to work with the ladies and not come off, I suppose, like you just want to do that if you don't really want to do that, and how to just be upfront and real if you really do want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to come at them and like switch up your persona depending on how you see this person. Like, she might be a nun, she could be a whole freak. Just because she's dressed with you know, a sweater and she got a button up and all that stuff, don't mean she not a freak. Y'all hear about these preachers' kids that be out here getting knocked up young and they be freaking out and stuff like that. Y'all know that, okay? So it doesn't mean anything. Y'all can't just be thinking that just because she's loose means a certain way, okay? And just because she's modest means that she's a church girl, okay? So you can't let your mind, you know, place these labels on people, all right? So just make sure, you know, y'all are just upfront in who you are and just authentic and genuine 24/7 and respectful 24/7. That's your best bet, okay? All right, so that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you all watching. Thanks for checking out my video. Please, again, like, share, and subscribe to my channel here, KJ Sagittarius. Request to follow me on IG at XLUVLEEY Jones X, Lovely Jones X. And thank you. Love, light, and melanin to you all. Love, love, and light. I appreciate you watching. Keep growing. Keep that strength going. And be safe out here. Build, maintain your high chakras and that high frequency. Peace out. I can't even begin to tell you the stuff that be in my inbox. It's crazy. This one dude earlier today, he gonna say to me, excuse me, he had like this ominous profile, was black, had no pictures, just a black screen. He only had like 45 followers. I mean, I'm thinking that somebody's trying to tell me something through the slide on a profile. He gonna say, excuse me, do you know somebody named Elizabeth or Lizzie or, you know, something like that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking like somebody's trying to tell me something about her, like something wrong with her. But I'm like, okay. I know a few people by that name, Elizabeth. Why? This is a creepy way to begin a conversation. Like, who are you? So he gonna message me back and say, oh, no, if you said yes, that just would have meant that you're a freak. Like, what? What are you talking about? So I hit him back and I was like, okay, you're weird, bye. And then I didn't read the next message he said. I just saw it popped up on my, notifications on my phone before I just deleted it because I didn't open it. I wanted him to know that I saw it. And it said something like, oh, just joking, but how are you doing, sexy? Just shit like that. Like, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? What you trying to, like, see how sexual I am? Why you gotta come at me sexually? Like, you just coming at me off sexual stuff. Like, what you mean? You're like testing me to see if I knew who that was? Is that like something in a song or something like that? Like, what the hell? It'd be all types of weird shit that be in my inbox. Like, that just be jumping straight sexual. Like, just that was just interesting to me.